using my 3D model to make their kit. This is for studio scale TIE fighters and TIE interceptors. And there you go. Welcome to the video, guys. It's been a while, I know, and a lot has happened since the Norris ForceCon. I made a couple of models, so I want to give you a quick rundown on what is new, what I've been up to, and then we are going to finally send those X-Wing Cockpit parts. I promise. If you also follow me on Instagram or you're subscribed to my Patreon, you already know the models, but they haven't been in the vlog, so I'm going to show you anyways. This pile, believe it or not, is or will be the Swordfish II from Cowboy Bebop. I have printed all the parts, but I haven't sanded them yet and cleaned everything up. So this is also for the future. But for this model I designed a clip mechanism for the wings so that you can clip them onto the fuselage without the need of gluing them. So then you can change the wings between flight mode and the storage mode, where they are angled up like this. And then I made this Hangar Stand. This is for studio scale TIE fighters and TIE interceptors. You can move this entry stage backwards and forward. So when the fighter is landing, it's all the way in the back. And once it's in the landed position, it slides forward and the pilot can climb out here. I also want to make this stand in 1/32 scale so that it fits with the new AMT TIE fighter. But before I can do that, I need to get a grasp of one of those because they are not officially available in Germany, so I have to check the internets for a good deal. I also made a couple of lamps because I thought it was a fun little project. Let's make some room here. That on there. Get those here. Ta-da! As you can see, those are the X-Wing call signs. And this as well, but in a more stylistic version. And this, of course, the Imperial Death Star inspired pattern. My wife and I, we both love Japan very much, and so she wanted a lamp that is more Japanese, so I made her this. One thing that's really cool engineering-wise about those lamps is that I adjusted the clip mechanism that I used in the Swordfish wings and shrinked it down to make those little connectors. And they are in here. So basically the whole lamp is just clipped together. There's no glue on them. The only glue is to glue this papers on here. But even that I optimized in the Ginkgo lamp. So it's a one-piece light diffuser, like this one's here. I had to make a couple of them before it came out right. So now the Ginkgo lamp is completely glueless. And the latest thing I did is another art piece, and this is this one here. I call it the Squadron line art poster. It's basically the same design that's on the side of this lamp here, just way bigger. And the portion that's missing here from the wing is of course there. This piece consists out of 8 separate pieces, and they are also clipped together with those little connectors that I also use in the lamp, so they're pretty versatile, and I try to use them a lot in future projects as far as it makes sense. One cool feature about this poster is that you can exchange this section here, the call sign. This is obviously red 5 now, and you can put in red 2, for example. I made all the hero call signs, so red leader, red 2, red 3 and red 5. This is also February's Patreon reward, so depending on when you watch this video, it's already up there. I'm also planning to upgrade my streaming background and replace this black curtain with some nice 3D printed panels, which some of them will of course be inspired by your favorite sci-fi things. I also did my first own TIE Fighter design, which was a very fun experience. That one is inspired by the ETA-2 Jedi Starfighter, the Sith Infiltrator from episode 1, and a design that I found online. The design is finished and everything, but I haven't printed it, because I'm at the point where I just can't print everything anymore. I'm really running out of space here, and my wife gets mad. So I'm going to show you some renders here real quick. The cockpit ball dimensions and the wing pylons that goes to the side, to the wings, those geometries are designed according to the studio model, but I decided to use different greeblies on the body so that it just looks a little bit different than the studio model, because it should be a different thing and maybe a little more prototypey like the TIE Avenger. I also made the canopy orientation like it is on the ETA-2 Jedi Starfighter, which is also the same orientation that it is on the TIE Avenger. So I guess this canopy orientation just marks prototypes in a TIE Fighter section anyways. I also was at the Comic-Con Stuttgart last year, but I didn't film much there because I was there mainly to meet friends and meet new people that I met on the internet, and then we met there and just chatted all things Star Wars, of course. But I might go as an exhibitor to Comic-Con Stuttgart this year. It's not final yet. I don't know, I have to decide and check what the plan is and everything. But if I go, I want to bring this with me. So it's time to get this finished. Alright, finally done with the sanding. Can you hear me? Finally done with the sanding. Let's wash the parts and then time for gluing, and I think I should wash up too. So see you in a little bit. It's the next day, guys. That was a major sanding session and I'm glad it's over. The parts are dry and clean now, so I can finally glue together those fuselage parts. There are some sections on the canopy frame that the electric sander couldn't reach properly. I have to put some filler in there and then sand over it again to make it nice and smooth. But I'll probably do that off camera. These are the parts of the top fuselage. I'm going to start with those. Alright, the glue from the last part should be dry now. Let's take a look. There's the bottom piece of the fuselage. Let's get those clamps off. Not so easy one-handed. There you go. Alright, the other parts are over here, waiting for a dry assembly. So let's quickly do that. The cockpit interior is still taped together because I still need to post-process this one, but that will be in the next video, or maybe even off camera, I don't know yet. Going to set you up over here. Alright, we start with the bottom fuselage part. We align it on the back, on the stand. And then it will center itself. For this dry assembly I will only use 4 pins. That should be more than enough. The cockpit interior. Now the upper fuselage part. I have to align the pins almost simultaneously. And that will be a little more challenging with all 6 pins, but it worked quite fine. Now we need to align these pistons into the hydraulic cylinders. Slide this down. Side panels. This and this. So R2 will be sitting on this slider here. This part will not be glued in the final assembly, so that you can always slide it in and out in case you need to get this little guy out of there. I'm going to put him in place, slide it forward, and yeah, this droid strip piece will of course be glued to the slider. And there you go. Yeah, it looks way better without the tape. Everything fits together perfectly. And the canopy mechanism works as well. Another cool thing that I'm very excited about is the upcoming TIE Bomber kit from Round 2/AMT. For those of you who don't know, they're using my 3D model to make their kit. That is absolutely amazing, because that means one of my models will be available as an officially licensed model kit. That's absolutely amazing. I already said that, but still it's absolutely amazing. So shout out to Round 2 and a big thank you for making this dream come true. Round 2 also recently released a video. I can link it up here somewhere or down in the description. They were at the New York Toys Fair, so go watch the video. There you can see a little preview of the TIE Bomber kit and see what else Round 2 is up to. Pre-orders for the TIE Bomber kit are already open at some online shops, so if you want to grab one, go do so. The release of the kit is scheduled for Q2 this year. And of course I'm going to build one on this channel here. I was thinking about to build it during my live streams. That could be a fun experience. So I'm really looking forward to that. Alright, I'm gonna end the video here. Next I will be filling the gaps in the canopy frame, sanding and prepping the cockpit interior, and then throw on the first paint. I'm thinking about to leave the fuselage plain white, so the PETG that I printed, because the base color is white anyways. So I want to try that, just leave it plain and then put all the weathering and all the color directly on the plastic. If it doesn't work, then yeah, of course I'm going to need to prime it. I also still have the Swordfish II from Cowboy Bebop in this box that wants to be built. So let me know in the comments if you want me to build this as well on a video here, or if you're just here for the Star Wars content. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.